Death T2 in Minecraft. Let's get right into it. I've already got the blocks that I want for this build. So Death T2 is the horror zone of Death T, and if you don't know, it actually ends with, in the manga anyway, it ends with a fight against this like murderer, serial killer guy. And players have to descend downstairs to get to him. So since players are leaving Death T1 out of this side, they'll be starting Death T2 from this side, meaning that the end will be over here. Well, let's make the house about 10 by 10. Okay, so this is a fairly decent size for the bottom section, and it might be a pretty good size for the whole house. So next thing is to add the staircase, which would go probably just up here like this. How big is this gonna be actually? Alright, that should be a good size, because this room by itself has like nothing in it. It will have the exit over here, which will be locked, and they'll have to defeat the chop man to get through it, and it'll have a door over here which the players can go straight into in order to face the chop man. So they'll come down here and we'll have a door here, so not like that, and open this up, and boom, chop man. Now for the walls of this section, we actually have a new block, which is really perfect for it. If you look at the images I've got, it's got these like dark, dingy bricks going on, and these blocks are perfect for that, I think. Now for the chop man, what I've got in mind is, rather than, you know, they're gonna have to fight someone, and rather than having them fight another player, because that just makes things difficult, we're gonna have them fight a mob, basically. And the best mob to represent the chop man, in my personal opinion, would have to be the piglin brute, right? Like, this guy is made to be the chop man. You see him there? He's even got an axe, right? He's the chop man. Unfortunately, piglin brutes have a issue where if they're in the overworld, they turn into regular piglins. So we have to keep the piglin brute in the nether. That's where the chop man's gonna be. And that means that players are gonna have to go through a nether portal to get to him. I don't know if I really like that. No, we're gonna have to have this portal out one just to make this look nicer. So we'll build this up. So now players can just go through there, and we'll block this off with more of the mud brick, just to make sure that nobody just walks straight through. That would be really, really awkward. Now we'll just build up these walls and then move on to the rest of the mansion. Yeah, that looks really nice. I like that this is surrounded in the brick, and presumably they'll have like a key or something from the chop man that will then be able to open the exit door, getting them right out of there. Okay, so this is gonna be the actual size of the mansion, 10 by 10. We may have to bring it out a bit more this way. So one thing that is an important point is that players have to be able to descend into these stairs, but these stairs have to be completely hidden. Yeah, I think this works out quite well. A little bit annoying that would be visible though, but I don't really want to make a fancy piston door. Then we just have these active, bam, bam, like that. Obviously we would cover that up, but then we have this big hole in the floor. We could put trapdoors there, because that adds a little platform. You know, players can be like, what is this? And they can open it. So this will be the guillotine puzzle standing over here somewhere, like just ahead of this. And then when you click the right lever, it will deactivate all of these pistons and pull them back. We just get one of these, get a comparator. That's not a comparator. Get a repeater. Put that in there. It comes around here somehow, and then we get a lever, and there we go. When the player flicks the right lever, it pulls that back, and they don't die. If they flick the wrong lever, though, it will kill them. That's how I'm gonna set this up, basically. Now, let's just build the house. Alright, so the murderer's mansion has 2 doors at the front, so that'll be the entranceway. So on the right side, it's got a little cabinet there. So that would just be like there. That's kind of cool. Why is that in redstone? And then there is a table over there, and big staircase there. Something like that. That works. Then they can come up here and go up the stairs if they really want, because there will be stuff upstairs, so they will have to, never mind. Okay, now the walls, however, are going to be made of these oak planks for the most part. We'll have a little table over here. There's also a little fireplace. That doesn't really look like a fireplace, but it looks like something. And something is better than nothing. Here we go. Yeah, that looks quite good. I like that. I like that a lot. And then we'll give them some armor. So we'll give them some netherite, make them look really, really cool. Players will not be allowed to take the netherite. Maybe they will be. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll put this on. Well, that was rather dramatic. There we go. Now, the next issue is in Death T2, in the manga, it had the little paper here, which would tell them the secret code. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. I want the whole of Death T2 to be like a horror map. Not a horror. Obviously, it's a horror map. I want it to be like an escape room. I'm gonna keep most of it hidden from you guys, like watching now. Most of the puzzles and stuff, just so that you can't work it out when you join in the game, and I think that that will make it a lot more fun. This room's gonna start feeling real cramped, but that's okay, because this is the horror section, and this is just some murderer's mansion, so we're gonna put in some books, just for fun. Can we actually put in, like, we can fill this up with anything, and can people take that out? I've never actually experimented with this. You can. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Maybe, just maybe, one of those will have a code in it. Maybe. I'm not sure how I'm gonna hide the code yet. I've got a couple ideas. Next, on the second floor is where we have the blood puzzle. So if we have another staircase going up here like so, into the third room, and then we just sort of block this off, so this becomes just staircase. You know what I mean? And then we can hide all sorts of redstone stuff around here to make everything function. 2 blocks down, that should be perfect for what I want to do. Let's build that in real quick. The other issue we have is that this lever here needs to connect up to down here, but we can make that work, that's fine. Presumably we can just sort of do this, right? Yeah, that's gonna work. We can just test that this functions so far. Boom, that seemed to work. And that closes that off. And then when players select the right lever, that will open. All right, now we've just got to set it up in the right place to be what we want it to be. So that will need to climb up here. That connects. Does this connect? That does connect. There's our 4 levers. You can actually hit that from pretty far away. I didn't realize how far away you could actually pull levers from. That is unfortunate, because I wanted to have players trapped once they stood there, so that if they pulled the wrong one, it can kill them. If we're gonna be locking people in, what is the best way to do that? So that's where our levers are gonna be. And just have them 1, 2, 3, 4. Could just straight up activate a piston though, couldn't it? There. Okay, that works. And then say we have that there, so players have to go like this. Whoop, ah! And if they get it wrong, they fall. That functions. So now you don't know which one is correct. You all have to stand in one thing, and then if you get it wrong, it drops you to your death. Excellent. And then we need some form of trap over here, which would just be a simple pressure plate trap. Not sure how we're gonna have it so that players can't actually leave. We could very well just do that, eh? And then they really have to communicate too, because they can't see each other. And now we need to set this up so that it springs the trap. Is it really as simple as redstone there? I don't think so. Oh yeah, that works. Oh, that's so claustrophobic. I hate that, get me out. Oh no! Oh no, that's a problem. It may pull that out, but then how do you die? Maybe we just need to think of another killing method. Okay, so I worked out a solution that was actually very, very simple. So what I was gonna have it do was, when this deactivates, it pulls that back, and pulls all of these back so you can jump out. But then of course I realized that having this active actually activates these pistons, so all of these activate the pistons. But that realization solved the problem of how to kill everybody. Now, if you select the wrong piston, this will retract and kill you, rather than I need to get rid of that, because that no longer happens. There's a lot of pistons going on here, but I think that's fine. So what's happening is Bugger, I think I finally cracked the code. You can sort of see at the back here how this works. So we've got this lever, right? This is the correct lever. And this one, when activated, powers through here, powers this block here, extending this piston. And then the redstone line goes through here, goes to this repeater, which extends this piston, which then also passes through here to this repeater, which extends this piston. Now, I had so many issues with this. One of the issues was that if we were to put it here, the levers that are not the correct ones will cause this piston to extend if they're activated, which means we needed this to be out of the way of that and then still powered by the correct one. It was just so difficult, but now I'm falling. But I've got it. Now we can just do this. That traps us in here. Somebody has to press a lever. That can't be there. There we go, and then we can escape. Easy. And everyone here can escape too. That actually works. Oh my goodness. And players will be allowed to see each other now, which is nice for them anyway. We can even have these how I had them before. And now we can just walk in here. We get stuck. We pull this. We are free. Everybody is free. Beautiful. Perfect. That seems to work. Okay, great. Boom, bam, pop. Super easy. Oh, that's so easy. If we want to change which lever is the correct lever, all I need to do is flip that around like that, and then set that up there. Ooh. Although there is a slight issue of you can pull this lever if you're not here. Ooh. I think that's just gonna be a thing that we have to let slide, honestly. Will it burn if I put lava there? Yep. That immediately set fire. And I didn't really want lava anyway, so we'll just get rid of that. Although what we could have, even better, would be gravel, actually. Like, this is meant to be a guillotine in the manga anyway. Boom, just a double gravel trap. If they do that. Oh, shit, true. Pressure plate. Need something better. What else can kill you? Anvils. If we stack a bunch of anvils up. Shit, yeah, that would kill you. Let's try 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Surely that's enough to kill a man. 5 anvils. Close! 6 anvils. Oh, boom. Yeah, so 6 anvils is the magic number, and they clean up after themselves. That's beautiful. It also means that we don't need these ugly looking mud bricks. Here we go, and then we just stack 6 anvils on top. Jeez, Death T2 is a tall boy. But the house overall, that's about right, I think. And the time is dark. Why is the time always dark? That's not what I wanted. Set day, thank you. There we... No! Now all that's needed is the signs. Ooh, I forgot about the signs. Boom. When people go in here, they can see 01 is their number. The puzzle and the word may be different as well. I'm not sure what I will do exactly, but I'm gonna make things slightly different so that it's not like an easy puzzle for anyone who has watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Or read the manga. That's the blood puzzle of Death T2. Sweet, this needs a bit of work too. This is not like filled up at all. I like how the Nether portal also creates creepy sounds, which is great. A bit of ambience for us there. We'll light this up with, I think, lanterns, of course. Has to be the best choice. Okay, a couple entrance lanterns. That's not bad. I think that's okay. There we go. And bam! The Nether. Whoopsies. We'll build this up so players can't go through there, and they will be forced to come out into this section, and this is, of course, where the Chop Man is going to be hiding. That's a circle. I'm not actually going to show what this is going to look like yet, because there's gonna be a little bit of a puzzle in here too, because it's not a skill-based game, and even like Kaiba, who was trying to kill these people, by the way, even he didn't do that. It was a puzzle. There was a way to kill the Chop Man without just being able to kill someone, you know, without just being good at fighting. Even though Jonuchi was good at fighting, of course, but he had a way to beat the Chop Man, like even Yugi could have done it. So I wanna have that be a clear thing, that you don't need to be an expert at Minecraft to be able to kill this guy. I have quite a good amount of experience at building circles in Minecraft. How good is that? Like, look at that. That's a perfect circle. Okay, I'll quit messing with you this way. Bam, perfect circle. Booyah! That looks right, doesn't it? Of course, we need the floor, so we're gonna use black wool just to add in that floor, and that gives you a lot of space to move around and try and get away from the Chop Man, because the Chop Man is very, very strong. Oh, damn it. That's another thing we need to do, is actually turn this... Oh, that's a good point, actually. I may need to bring this back one. Perfect. Now, what we need here is a way to stop players from going in. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this puzzle, but it will be a puzzle, and I don't want to show too much about the Chop Man room, so I'm just gonna show you this. This is the arena. This is how it looks for now. There will be, like, weapons and crap in it. Okay! So that is all of the... Could you not be there? Thank you. Do you like the mansion, buddy? Is it good? Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Now, what do we need here? This needs to be blocked off. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay. I don't care if you're hitting your head. It sucks to be you, you know? This is Death T, not Fun T. What? Anyway, the blood puzzle. You gotta step into one of them. And if you haven't worked out the puzzle already, whoa, that's not gonna be fun for you. And only the person who pulls the wrong lever is gonna get squished as well. So that's gonna be a bonus. My guy. Alright. Now we just need to make this look like an actual mansion. And it's done. Welcome to the Murderer's Mansion. Don't worry too much about the sides. Most of that won't be able to be seen anyway due to, like theme park magic. I tried to match it as closely to the manga as I could. I think the roof came out quite nice. Nice red roof. This was the hardest bit. Swapped out the birch walls for this acacia wood, which gives it that gray weathered effect that it had in the manga, and also allows us to give this stripped wallpaper look. So let's take a look inside and see what else has changed. I've added a chest in here, pulled back the table just to give that a little bit more room, as well as added in the red curtains that we can see in the manga, and I've made the bookshelf a little bit bigger. So I think this room turned out quite nice, especially with the different colored walls. I also swapped out the trapdoor to be spruce trapdoors instead of the dark oak. While the dark oak does blend in more, I think that the spruce doors just make it look a bit more dungeony. Now, if we go upstairs, everything here is all filled in. You can't see any of the redstone. I've also added in these trapdoors. When a player steps in, of course, as before, they get sealed, and then they can open a trapdoor to see the sign, which gives them a hint as to which one is the correct lever. Wait, will that actually work with the trapdoor there? Ooh, just occurred to me that the trapdoors will not work, as that will be pulled dropping the anvils on you, but then the trapdoor will block it. Back to the drawing board. I guess we just sort of have to get rid of that. Players must stand on pressure plate before pulling lever. But I did add another bit of redstone, something quite cool. So notice that the correct lever is now pulled, and if we go down to our trapdoors, you'll notice that this hasn't been opened, and there is a reason for that, and just more incentive for players to be standing on the pressure plates. So you'll notice down here that these pistons are not actually attached to the blocks that they need to pull, which is, part of the reason why it hasn't opened. This redstone line here is connected to the pistons, and this is currently deactivated because it goes up here to a redstone torch, which is deactive because there's a redstone torch underneath it. Why is that? Let me show you. So, if the correct lever is turned on, and now we'll cut back to where I was before, then that will send a redstone signal through this wire here. So this wire goes through all of these pistons, which activates them, blocking the players in, and connects to the correct lever. That sends the wire down here, and you'll notice that this doesn't actually go anywhere. Why is that? So, this piston here, and this little bit of redstone is directly underneath the pressure plate, which is right here. That's where the pressure plate is. So when you stand on that pressure plate, this piston extends, which blocks the players in, and it triggers this redstone, which activates this piston, pushing this block out. So this block will now be here, like that. And once that's in, obviously, the redstone signal continues until it goes all the way down to the end and comes back around here, going into this repeater, which goes into this block, and that will turn off this torch. And when this torch is turned off, this torch will turn on, which activates this redstone line, going all the way back down and activating the pistons. So basically, this just means that every player has to be standing on a pressure plate. All 4 pressure plates have to be active in order for the players to continue forward. So let's continue forward down here. I have added a little bit extra here. We've got some blood, just a blood trail showing the Chop Man has dragged someone down here and brought them into the torture chamber over here, right? So we got like a table, got some blood, got a deadly saw thing. We had someone chained to the wall here who unfortunately died, and only his skull remains, which was probably chopped off by this thing. And then the body was dragged away out here. I just added in this little bit of extra, redstone detailing to show that the Chop Man dragged a body over here. So somewhere there must be an exit over here. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But that just shows that the exit is over there. That's the point of that. And if we go through here, we can face the Chop Man. Alright, so stepping in here into the Chop Man's dungeon, we open up the doors, which have now been changed to these nice spruce dungeony looking doors. But what? There's no Chop Man here. Where is he? Boom! There he is, and you are locked in completely, and there is nothing you can do. Ignore this hole. So, what just happened? If we walk in here, these pressure plates will activate, which will summon our good friend, the Piglin Brute, the Chop Man himself, and trigger these to come up and block your exit. Let's take a look at this room. I think this room came out really nicely. We've got the weapons hanging from the ceiling, so players can actually jump in and grab a weapon, the best weapons are way up the top and the hardest to grab. You have to be on here and be jumping to actually grab them. So in order to get a invisible item frame is /give item frame entity tag invisible, boom, and then you get an item frame. And when you place this, you can't see it, but you'll notice that the hitbox for the chain has disappeared, which now means that there is an item frame there, and we can put in the last of our weapons. Boom, just like that. How cool is that? That's very, very cool. I love how that looks, and I think that looks very, very, like, that's just awesome. And we'll put one here too, because I missed that as well. Alright, let's take a look at how this redstone here works. Okay, so this is a little bit complex, but if we look over here, this is where the door mechanism works, and this is a little bit complicated. So, what is happening here? Let me just reset this real quick so that we can actually see what is meant to be going on. So, the pressure plates are just under here where these two netherrack bits are. When the players stand on that pressure plate, that triggers this redstone, which will first of all trigger this command block, which summons a piglin brute, and it will then travel down here going into this repeater, which will activate these pistons here. When these pistons activate, these two blocks get pushed out, which breaks these redstone torches. And when those are broken, these two redstone torches can activate, which will activate these two pistons here. Now you might be wondering, why don't we just have the repeaters go into these pistons to activate them? The problem is, if you do that, then as soon as the players get off the pressure plates, these pistons would actually retract here, which is not what we want at all. Now, since we want these pistons to stay active when the player gets off of the pressure plate so that they're locked in the room, we have to use this complicated mechanism to make sure that these stay on and this stays on, and there is no way to deactivate it. So the next thing that happens is this redstone will travel over this command block, going down here, following this red line, and go into these repeaters here. Now there's a lot of repeaters here, and this is set to 4. This is just to make sure that this happens absolutely last, because this needs to happen last. So what will happen then is, just like I said before, these pistons will push these blocks out to here, and then this piston will trigger last, pushing this block up, which pushes all of these up and breaks this redstone line. When that is broken, that just means that this command block won't reactivate if you stand on a pressure plate again, which would be a little bit of a problem, because then you'd just be summoning extra brutes by accident, and it means that the Chop Man himself could summon another one, which wouldn't be very good at all. So that is how all of this works. It locks the players in and prevents them from summoning more brutes, just like that. And when they find the exit, it will trigger this redstone signal here, which will activate this piston, pushing these across, breaking these torches, which will be lit, and that will then deactivate the pistons, unlocking the room, which is very, very cool. I won't go over the rest of the redstone since that is a little bit secret. So that is basically everything you need to know about the Murderer's Mansion. I've also done a little 3x3 piston door for the exit so that players can escape. It's a very simple, it looks really complicated, but I promise it's actually a really, really simple 3x3 door, and that'll just open and close right there. So the last thing to do for Def T2 is, of course, to do the graveyard. I've got ourselves a nice little color palette here, and without further ado, we're just gonna go into a time lapse for this and build up the graveyard. I wanted to get the replay mod going on for this, but unfortunately it doesn't work for this version of Minecraft yet, so we're just gonna have to do a normal first-person view time lapse. Let's get right into it. it is done. I don't know about you guys, but I am really happy with how this turned out. We've got the nice mansion here. This area is all completely lit up, and this area is the dark, dingy graveyard with all the tombstones of varying shapes and sizes, and they've got names on them, or they will have names on them. Now, before we finish up, there is one more thing that I have to do that I wanted to do on camera, so take a look at how cool this sky is, right? What I've done here is I've just done layers of glass with a bit of a gap between them. The gap gets smaller as you go up, so it gets more dense and darker, and that creates this really cool fog effect that you can't really see, and then we got black on top of that, but you know, it just creates this really cool effect. And one more thing that we're going to do to really give it that night sky look is I've got world edit now, so we're going to select here, there. So this is going to give it a really good night sky effect. So we're going to go / replace air 1% end rods, and then we're going to do 99% air, and boom, look at that. So now you can really start to see the fog effect, like, pardon me. So down here is still very dark, so mobs will be spawning. But up there, it's reasonably bright. I think it's a little too bright. So what I'm going to do instead is / undo. Instead of 90% air, we're going to do 70% air. And we're going to do 29% black stained glass. So that's what it looked like originally. This is what it looks like now. Yeah, that's a lot cooler, isn't it? That makes the night sky like darker, foggier, a bit more endless. And those stars just gently peek out here and there. What do you guys think? Do you prefer the starry sky, or do you prefer the complete black fog? So if you haven't worked out already, this stage of Death T2, in the manga, the first stage of Death T2 was a silence challenge, and they had to keep quiet or they'd be electrocuted. So how do we replicate that in Minecraft? With shriekers. If you make too much noise, it will set these bad boys off, and they will summon a warden, and things will get a lot harder. And obviously the goal in my version of Death T2 is to make your way through here silently, past that wall, and into this area. And over here mobs won't spawn. Now this wall, it's roughly 20 blocks away from in here. From over here, you'll be completely safe from the warden. So the warden can actually hit you from 20 blocks away, but if you're right up here, he'll probably still be able to hit you, so you do have to be careful about that. Zombies and skeletons will all be spawning in here, so you're gonna have to make your way through here without dying. But you've also got to watch out for these wither roses, which are really hard to see in the dark, and they will cause damage to you, which can actually set off the skulk sensors. The good news is though that the monsters that spawn here also get damaged by the wither roses, so it makes it a lot easier to kill them with just your fist. Now you're probably thinking, Senkara, you fool! These shriekers don't actually summon wardens unless they're naturally spawning, but there is a way around that. So we do / give debug stick, and then if you right click on these with the debug stick, can summon to true. Now they'll only actually summon a warden if they go off like 3 times. But eventually, nope, there he is. See, told you it worked, and he just comes out of the ground and he will mess you up. Let's take a look at this with the night vision on. How nice does that look? Isn't that cool? Look at the tombstones and everything. I think that I'm really happy with how well this came out. I wasn't sure if I could build a good graveyard, but I'm actually really happy with what we've got here. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video of Death T2 in Minecraft, and stay tuned, subscribe for Death T3 coming in a few more weeks. That is, if you haven't already, also check out Death T1 was what I built. If you leave your comments below, you will be part of the first group to play Death T. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the sky, the design of everything, and thank you once again. My name has been Senkara, and until next time, see ya.